There's a very interesting medrash in Tehillim that relates that Avram Avinu once met Shem at some point after the Mabul, and he said to him, in what merit and what zechus did you and your family able to leave the Teivah? And Shem explained that it was in the merit of the tzedakah that they did. And Avram is surprised. Tzedakah? There are no poor people. Well, with whom were you doing tzedakah while you're in the Teivah? And Shem explained it was with the animals. We made sure to take care of whatever their needs were, whatever time of day they needed to eat, however it was, we took care of whatever they needed. And if you think about it, the question is very, very strange. What does that mean? And what zechus did you leave the Teivah? In the zechus that they had a zechus that allowed them to be saved, that they weren't like the mushchas and the terrible people of the generation. That's why they were saved. And then they were in the Mabul, and of course, when it's over, they were going to exit. Why do they need a zechus? Why do they need a special merit in order to leave from the Teivah? Reb Chaim Yaakov Goldel Zatzal, Shishiva from Kerem B'Yavneh, explained that what Avram Avinu understood and what he was asking Shem is that if you were privileged to be able to be in this Teivah and to be the people that survived and the world is going to be built anew and it's going to be a different place, it must be that while you were in there was some sort of zechus, there was some sort of lesson that you needed to learn to make sure that the world is going to be different after than it was before. And to that, Shem explains, yes. What we learned was that we have to make sure to always be living for other people. That others' needs come before ourselves. We are second. Even if it was only the animals on the Teivah, it teaches us that lesson. The people that lived in the Dor HaMabul were putting themselves in the middle. Whether it was that Lo Nichtam Gzer Dinam El Al HaGezel that they stole. What I want is what's most important. I don't care what belongs to you. Or whether the more serious taivas and desires that they were involved in, that the Gemara expounds upon. Either way, it was putting themselves in what I want and not what I'm supposed to be doing because God said so, and not because I care about other people. That did not come first. And what Shem was saying was that the lesson they understood was Olam Chesed Yiboneh. If the world is going to be rebuilt, it needs to be rebuilt with an understanding that Chesed has to be at the center. Chesed has to be what the world is about, and that's the only way that the world is going to be a different place than it was. That's what Avram understood. There must be that lesson, and that's what Shem understood as well. So they needed a zechus, they needed a lesson to be learned in order to be able to be yotzei, to be able to go out from the Teivah. Our lives all changed on Shmini Atzeres. The world that was, and the world that is, and the world that would be are all different. And we will never be the same. We will never be the same. And however and whenever things settle, and HaKadosh Baruch Hu helps us take out the Rishaim, Arurim Yimach Shemam, that we should get rid of them, and then that all of the evil will be destroyed. When HaKadosh, after He allows that, the world is going to be a different place. And what is incumbent upon us is to make sure that we are preparing ourselves for what that world is going to look like, and to make sure that the world that we have lived in is such a self-centered environment where people focus so much on themselves. And part of what has come out and the lessons that are emerging right now of our selfless chayalim, those selfless people who have been living in those places so close to the border because of Yishuv Eretz Yisrael, and the selfless Klal Yisrael who's trying to find any way to be able to connect and to be able to help. The Mika Amcha Yisrael stories are so real and so powerful. And it's exactly this lesson of the Teivah when we are in this in-between phase. It's about figuring out what zechus are we going to have to get out of here. How are we going to prepare ourselves that the world in which we're going to arrive is going to be such a better place. And that with HaKadosh Baruch Hu's help, we'll understand that to rebuild a world that has been shaken, our worlds have all been shaken, it's Olam Chesed Yibana. It's through the chesed that we do. It's through making sure that we're always putting others in front of ourselves. When HaKadosh Baruch Hu sees the efforts that we are putting in while we are in this in-between phase, and hopefully He'll soon be able to help us get out of the Teivah, to help us get out to the next phase of being able to reach the day V'haya b'yom hahu Yiyeh Hashem echad u'shmo echad, that everybody should realize, the entire world, Meloch al kolam kulo b'chvodecha, should see the power, the glory of HaKadosh Baruch Hu, and bring us soon, speedily, and as easily as possible, a geula shlema b'mhira v'yameinu. Amen.